Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing these Lone Wolf double step sticks here. I actually did a video tutorial on how I silence these sticks using bed liner. So if that sounds like something you'll be interested in, I'll leave a card up here and a link in the description. But otherwise, in this video, this is going to be a review of these sticks and how that bed liner application actually turned out. So we'll just jump right into it. So the first thing to talk about with these sticks is how stackable they are. They stack flush, which is incredible. I think they're supposed to be about a ½ an inch each. If I measure them here, should be at 1.5 inches roughly, and they are looking like 1 5/8 inches, so a little bit more than 1.5 inches for 3 sticks. The overall length is 18 inches. Without the cabletors, or I guess with the cabletors once they're stacked, but 18 inches, and these are the 17-inch versions. So from where they measure it from where you actually put your foot. So if you measure it from where you put your foot to where you put your foot on the top step, it is exactly 17 inches. So that's nice. I also have 17-inch cabletors here, but they actually only equal to about 15 inches when you get them on. I'm not sure why, or how that measurement is made, but they're definitely not exactly 17 once you put them on there. But they go on these sticks really well. When you have cabletors, the sticks can still stay super stackable, and you kind of have to figure out how to get them on your sticks, but you can definitely figure it out. It's not hard at all. It's just, there's no like defined way to do it. And the last cabletor that you put on is usually a little bit the hardest, but once it's on there, that harder one, that's the last one to put on, that's a little bit harder, will keep all the other ones on there, and so then they will stay stacked together as well, so like they won't come apart once those cabletors are on there, which is really nice, especially when you're walking around with these things. It won't make any noise. I do also put a rubber wire tie on it just to keep these a little bit more scrunched down and lower profile, but you don't really need it. So yeah, super stackable, which means they're extremely portable. There's really nothing else like it that's as compact and stackable and as portable as these, which is why I got them. So the next thing, I guess we should talk about weight. So I have a scale here in front of me, and all 3 sticks with cabletors and the bed liner application is 5 pounds, 12.6 ounces, and I think one stick, we'll do one stick here too. 1 pound, 14.8 ounces, so getting close to 2 pounds, but not quite 2 pounds with the stick, the cabletor, and the bed liner application, which is a lot lighter than my old Lone Wolf sticks that are 2.5 pounds per stick. I have one right here. It's probably even a little more. Maybe I'll just weigh it right now. Two pounds, 7.1 ounces. So these are quite a bit lighter. Yeah, so they're just incredibly mobile sticks, and that's probably why you're watching this video too, is because you're a mobile hunter and you're wondering if these are going to be worth the money, because they are pretty expensive. They're over $100 per stick. So we'll keep going in this review so you can determine that for yourself. Yeah, the next thing I want to talk about is the double step design. So it's one of the main reasons I got these sticks is because I actually did a custom double step design on my old Lone Wolf sticks because it's just so nice. And that double step is probably 9 inches, and the new ones are just about 10 inches, so there's an inch difference. But it's a game changer having that double step stick. I've been using these for years now. Probably 5 years or more, and so I have a lot of experience with double step sticks. The only difference is these have the double step on the bottom as well on the top, and I think that's fine because it doesn't really make them any less portable by having a double step on the bottom. If anything, it's nicer because when you're trying to put up a tree stand or your saddle platform, however you're hunting, you can have that, you can have both legs leveled on the bottom as well on the top. So sometimes, like when I'm using my old sticks and I only have that double step platform on the top, I wish I was down, I could get lower and work on things when I'm climbing the tree, but I can't because, well, I can, but then I'll only have one leg to support me. Whereas on this, you'll have two. So it's nice to kind of have a little bit of different height you can go to when you're like putting a tree stand up on the tree or saddle platform or whatever. So I really love the design. Another thing for saddle hunters is it's got a very roomy top step. So it's 10 inches, like I said. So you can pretty much use this as a platform itself, and that's what I do a lot of the time. And with my double steps in the past, like if I didn't want to, or if I'm on public land or something, I can't put screw-in steps, I'll put one stick on one side of the tree and another stick on the other side of the tree, like this, and then I can maneuver the entire tree because it's basically like I have four steps. Really only works for if you have like a smallish tree. Otherwise, it doesn't work as well because you can't get your feet around the tree to the other steps. Also, just using this as a platform in conjunction with whatever method you're using, whether it's like a ring of steps or an actual platform, you can also use these in conjunction with that to increase the size of your platform and how you can maneuver. So really like that roomy top step. So how high up in the tree can you get with these? And if you're buying just the plain sticks, you'll probably want 4, like if you're not going to get the cable aiders. I know I can get just about 15 feet to my feet with these full-length sticks that I used to use. And these new sticks, the double steps with the cable aiders, are basically the exact same length. So they come out to be like 32 inches total length. So it's basically like a full-length stick, and they're way lighter because this half of the stick is just a cable. So that cuts significantly down on the weight of these sticks, but you can still get to the same height. So that's awesome right there. So another important thing to talk about is how well they grab the tree. So this might be one of their downsides. I haven't had any issues with that, but I also haven't tried them in any gnarly trees because I've only used them a handful of times and I've been able to find pretty good trees to put them in. But they have these bolts, these non-rotating tree bracket standoffs, and you see them there. And most other sticks will have a rotating bracket, like they'll go on the tree and they'll rotate like this depending on the lean of the tree, and that makes it so the bottom and the top can kind of position securely. These don't have that, and that's the trade-off you have to deal with in order to get that stackability. But in my opinion, it's way worth it because I have kind of gotten in some not super perfect trees with these, and I've been able to always figure out how to get them to stick onto the tree really good. Sometimes it does take like a little bit of just kind of figuring it out, but I really don't think there's going to be any tree that I want to get into that I just can't. I think I'll be able to figure it out. That's not like a big issue for me. Another thing though is that this Versa button is very high up on the stick, so when you put your straps on and you tighten it to the tree, it's going to want to pull the top in and kick that bottom out, and so that can leave this like kind of free floating a little bit depending on what tree you're in. And that is something to consider. They should have moved the Versa button down. There might be a reason why they didn't, but I don't know that reason. It's just because of it compromising the structural integrity of it. I'm not really sure. But it'd be nicer if it was down here, that way it would pull everything to the tree. But it doesn't. That said, I haven't had a problem with that. Like sometimes it does. I notice it come off the tree a little bit. The top is on really good though. And then when I get on the stick, and it's nice that it has double steps, so you can put both feet on it, force it down on the tree, and it'll grip pretty good. And then when you get off, it might like kick back out a little bit. But as long as you keep your weight on it, it seems to like push that into the tree. I haven't had any kickouts with it. I think you can figure out how to get into pretty much any tree if you just might take a second to figure out how to get into the worst of the worst trees. But for how stackable they are and how portable they are, I think it's worth them not being as good as other sticks when climbing trees, because I think they're probably at least 80% just as good as other sticks for getting up into trees. So I'll take that trade-off any day if they're going to be as portable and stackable as they are. The last thing to talk about inside is how noisy they are out of the box. So when you first get these, they're just incredibly noisy. And like I said, I put bed liner on mine to silence them up a bit. So I guess we'll talk about that now, how well that turned out. And it came out very good. I'm very happy. It's as good as I need it to be. Is it completely silent? No, it's probably not as quite as silent touch tape or the stealth strips, just because those are fabric. But I like that these, that the bed liner is like not a fabric. It's basically turns it into part of the stick. You can wash it off. It's easy to clean, and it's as quiet as I need it to be. So like you can definitely hear some metallic noise, but if you're trying to be quiet, it's not a problem for me to do what I need to do without making any noise. Like nothing's gonna hear me when I use these unless I do something really dumb and like smoke them against each other. But I can stack them on there. If you drop it, yeah, don't want to drop it, but like if I'm deer hunting, just pull them off like that, and you can hear some table noise there, but completely silent. Oops. So it's just dampened the noise a lot, hasn't silenced them, but much better than where they were. And one other thing to take into consideration when you're doing the Raptor 2K is that it smells very strong, like spray paint or whatever that stuff is. It just smells very strong. And so these have been sprayed now for about 3 months, we'll call it 3 months. And I can still smell it just a tiny bit. It's pretty much gone, just the slightest little hint of it. So if I can smell it, then a deer can definitely smell it. I'll be leaving these outside to air out for quite a bit this summer, just to kind of let the weather make it not smell at all. So if you want to check out that video on how I did it, like I said, that'll be in the description. Anyway, if you're going that route, definitely take that into consideration, but that's all that I have for what I can talk about inside. And so we can go outside now, and I can show you guys how I use them and how I set up and everything like that. So I'll see you out there. So my sticks are good to go, and then this is my backpack I use for hunting. I keep my straps in the side pocket here for the sticks. And what I do is I just take them where the bolt's facing outward. I'll just put it in here. And I can fit everything I need to go hunting in here as well, along with the sticks. There's plenty of room in here. And I'll zip it up. And they're good to go. I usually leave the tops hanging out, and then I'll take these little tongues or whatever you call them, and I'll throw them over the bolt. And you don't have to do that. That's probably not the best for those. Well, they'll probably end up breaking eventually, but they're replaceable. So yeah, that's how I pack my sticks, so I just put them in my backpack, and I'm good to go. This looks like a good tree here. So I'm just gonna set one up. I don't think I need to climb all the way up here. So what I do, put that in there, and this is a pretty like average tree, I would say, average gnarly tree that I would hunt out of. And like you can kind of pick how you want to get up there, so like it's leaning pretty hard this way. So if I put this stick up there and it doesn't have a rotating bracket, this one's gonna stay. It's not gonna have anything to attach to. And you can try to put it sideways like this, which would work. It's gonna have a tendency for this bottom to want to kick out like this. So in that situation, like I would try to climb this tree with it on the back side, because then it's gonna not want to kick out anyway. But I'll try to climb it how I normally wouldn't, so you guys can see how it does on these sideways trees. So you gotta be watch out for these wings, because if you start tightening the strap down with it here, it'll tighten over that wing, and then this could slip off. So I try to put it above it. Alright, so there we go. You can tell this is straight down where that strap is going. So this is pretty severely leaning. So if I put my weight on this, it's going to want to pull it this way, and this bottom is going to want to kick out like that. And that's just kind of how these sticks roll. But the thing is when you put your weight on them, down here where it wants to kick out, it'll just dig into the tree more, so it'll be fine. The trouble is once you let off of your weight from down low and you put it up high, you have to be careful if you're severely leaning. And this is the same with other sticks too, like not just these. Even if you have a pivoting V bracket, it's only going to help to an extent on these severely leaning trees, which is why you want to preferably climb on the side where there's not going to be any kickouts to possible. But if you had to climb something like this, see if I can do this. So it wants to kick out right now because this bertha button is high up, but I can get my foot in there. That's just digging further into the tree right now, so it's not going to kick out. Same if I go to this bottom, it's sturdy there. You can get there. And then once I go up here and take my weight off, it has a higher potential to kick out. So you just have to be aware that once you get up here, to be more careful. But as long as you're wearing a harness, you'll be fine. And you can kind of get a feel for if that bottom wants to kick out on you. But I generally feel quite safe. I just don't have a harness on right now because I'm just doing one stick. But if I had to, I could get up in this tree no problem. I mean, this is about as bad as it gets, and they hold up fine. So if I was regularly going to be climbing this tree, I would just move it over here, tighten that down, come over here, and that's just a much safer option. So you can see that's loose there. I mean, I haven't seated it either, but it just will be like that. As soon as I climb up here, That's just digging straight into the tree. Same there. And I feel perfectly safe climbing up this gnarly tree. So they can handle some gnarly trees. I don't think it's anything to worry about, but it's definitely makes a difference that they're not pivoting V-brackets. You have to think about it a little bit more when you're setting up the sticks, but you can still pretty much do everything you can with other sticks.